If you're a diehard Raider fan straight out of Oak, Las Vegas, shout out to my guy Graphic Raider, then I want you to hit that subscribe button. We got videos every single day, live at least twice a week, Tuesday, Thursday Night Football. You better join Jeremy Chuggs and I tonight. And then for every single Raiders game day, you know what? The Raiders don't even play this week. We're going to be live for Monday Night Football because it's Chargers, Broncos. More subscribers we get, more videos we get, and it's 100% free. So hit that subscribe button. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and coming up here on today's show, we are going to get into the latest around the whole Davante Adams suspension situation. We're also going to be talking about some injury updates around Nate Hobbs and Anthony Averett. But the way that I have to start today's Raiders Report is around number 17. And this is right now, I can make the argument, the biggest story going on in the NFL. Is it being overblown? Yes, absolutely. But here we go. Adams has been charged with a city ordinance violation for his post-game shove. This is following the Raiders-Chiefs Monday Night Football game. A lesser charge than a state misdemeanor. He faces a fine of $250 to $1,000 or a jail sentence up to 180 days or both. Let me just say this. Davante Adams is not going to go to jail. If he gets a fine of $250 or $1,000, well, then, you know what? I might just do a boot for Davante. But, I mean, let's face it, y'all. $1,000 to Davante Adams, that's like you and I getting fined $1. So what you're going to see here is some reactions and some news around social media in regards to this. Ian Rapoport, he's the one that kind of broke this story yesterday. Point of clarity on the Raiders wide receiver Davante Adams. He's been charged with the city of ordinance. So originally it came out as a misdemeanor. First, actually, this is why I love social media. It started as assault. Then it went out to a misdemeanor, and now we're here as a city ordinance violation. So that continues to go down and down a little bit here. This is what Raiders legend Tim Brown had to say on Twitter about the whole Davante Adams situation. Raiders, all right, enough of this Tay Adams attempted murder plot with the camera guy. There are two factors in play. One is he probably shouldn't have pushed him, which I agree with. But the second and main factor is the guy shouldn't be on the pathway of the players leaving the field. If it was me, because I usually jogged off the field, especially in Kansas City and Denver, the shove would have been harder, simple, because I would have been on the move. Take into consideration, this also, the first 15 minutes after a hard-fight game, is the worst time for a player. Even I have been known to say one of things. Ask Bronco fans after Snowmageddon and do some things in the locker room. New England tuck roll that are unlike me, but emotions, passions are hard to control sometimes. Thankfully, the guy isn't hurt and 17 has apologized. Move on. My biggest take on this is if anybody's ever played sports or cares about anything, sometimes you're an emotional person. Think about our post-game reaction shows, right? Our post-game stuff. We're emotional. Then the next day, you're like, all right. But the thing is with Davante, he's never had an incident before. He's a good dude. He apologized 15 minutes later. Move the frick on. Robert Carr, an official photographer in the NFL, said, absolutely absurd. The photographer should not have walked in front of players as they left the field, and security has a responsibility to clear the tunnel and prevent this. Adams shouldn't have pushed. But to call this assault is laughable. He apologized. Move on. And then some other guy on Twitter that you might have heard of before said, this Davante Adams situation is a money grab. The Kansas City Chiefs security and NFL failed protecting Adams by not clearing the player tunnel. The security didn't throw out any fans for throwing beers, shouting the N-word at Raiders players. Like I said, Arrowhead sucks. So Raider Nation, y'all, we are a family, and I get it. This has been an up and down season, but I got 17's back. I've been vocal on Instagram. I've been vocal on Twitter. I'm going to be vocal on this show as well. If you have Davante Adams' back, and you think this whole situation is just out of hand, it's absurd, it's a money grab, I want you to spam 17 right now. Coming up next here on the Raiders Report, we're going to get into an injury update around Nate Hobbs. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, if you follow me on any social media platform, I did kind of already talk about this, at least just a little bit. Before I get into the exact update on Nate Hobbs, I always tell people a lot of times, hey, hit me up on social media. One of the other places that I want you guys to check out a lot of the content that I do is over on Locals, because I put out this video on Locals yesterday. Adams shouldn't be suspended. I said it was a clear money grab. Also, one of the coolest things about Locals is I get to know some of the viewers here. So, major shout out to our NFL Week 5 pick and winner, Raider Rob. I believe it was 831. So, cheers to you, dude. You get your shout out on the show. One of the things that we're going to be doing, that's not him. So, one of the things that we're going to be doing on Locals is every single week, whoever comes in first place, we're going to make sure that we show them some love. We're going to give them a shout out. So if you want to join my Week 6 challenge, all you got to do, Super Raider 831, that's him on Locals. All you got to do is join the challenge at chatsports.com/week6. And if you come in first place, your picture's going to be up here on the show. So scan the QR code right now for even more exclusive Raiders videos, exclusive live shows. If you're a diehard Raider fan and you want to compete against me and other people for a chance to be on the show, join me with the challenge down there, chatsports.com/week6. Let's talk about Nate Hobbs now, because Nate Hobbs, the injury news is this. He left Monday Night Football with a hand injury. He did return with a cast, and that thing was like a freaking war club. Then he posted on Instagram yesterday that he broke his hand, and I was like, all right. I saw it go down. I saw Hobbs come back out with a club, and I just figured he's going to be totally fine, and this isn't going to be anything to be worried about. Luckily, the Raiders do have a bye week this week, so we're not really too worried about it as it stands right now. But this is what Nate Hobbs posted on his Instagram account. Broke bones in my hand and had a choice. I told them do whatever they had to do to put me back on the field with my brothers. I'll figure the rest out myself. I done took my share of L's and stood face to face with enough fear. I ain't hiding. I'm right here. You know what this reminded me of? It reminded me of, we're going to go back in 2019, because I remember I was live for Hard Knocks during a show where then they showed like the background of when Maxx Crosby got hurt in the one preseason game. One in the locker room said, hey, I don't give a shit. I want to get back out there on the field. Wrap me up. Let's go. There are different breeds of human beings. There are different breeds of players. There are different breeds of leaders. And when you can be in the same conversation as a guy like Maxx Crosby, which I'm hoping Nate Hobbs' career continues to ascend the way that Crosby's has, but I saw that Instagram post by Hobbs, and that's what it gave me. It gave me Maxx Crosby vibes. So to the Raiders organization, to whoever is making the decisions up there, you better make sure that number 39 and 98 are in silver and black for the rest of their careers. So I want you guys to show Nate Hobbs some love. This man is a dog for breaking his hand and then going back out there on the field. Yeah, that shit's wrapped up like a war club. I don't give a shit. Break your hand and then go back out there and play a physical game. I have earned the utmost respect for Nate Hobbs. This kid continues to show that he's getting better and better, and now he's doing stuff like this. That's a lot of brownie points to me. Spam 39 right now. We got another injury update here in the secondary, and the Raiders secondary has definitely been pretty banged up this year. There's no doubt about it. We're going to get into an Anthony Averett injury update here in just a second. But first, I got to give some flowers. I want to give a shout out to Raiders Resistance on Instagram. I really appreciate anytime somebody takes time to take one of my tweets, take something that I have to say, and then they turn it into a cool graphic like this. So here's what I'm going to tell everyone right now. First, give Raider Resistance a follow on Instagram. Second, I want you guys to collab with me. If this show on YouTube is about interacting with the nation, let's take it a step further. Hit me up on IG. If you see a tweet, if you see a stat that I put out, if I have a hot take, a cold take, something from my Raiders show, and you want to turn it into a graphic, cool, do it. Please do. All I ask, tag me and then invite me as a collaborator. That way I can share it on my Instagram as well. That way all my followers can also see the work that you're putting in, which then helps your channel grow or your Instagram account grow more. If you don't know how to do that, tag people on Instagram once you put up a post and click invite collaborator. I will then accept it. Next, search for the user you want to collab with. That's me, at Mitchell Renz 365. Once you select and tap the check mark to confirm, I'm going to confirm it. Then it goes on my Instagram. It goes on your Instagram. You get more followers. And then it also helps my show grow, and it helps the nation become a little bit more informed. Sound good? Seriously, hit me up as a collaborator. Let's go to the next story here, and it's around Anthony Averett, and this is on me. This is he going to be playing Week 7? I don't want y'all to think that it's a done deal. It's more of a, could he potentially play? So when he was injured in Week 1 on Monday Night Football, he played in like 34 snaps. He ended up injuring his thumb. The Raiders then put him on IR. I talked to one of my friends who's a doctor, and he said most thumb injuries, they take about 6 to 8 weeks. So I said, okay, 6 to 8 weeks. The Raiders don't play until October 23rd, Week 7, Week 1. That's 6 weeks. That's on the early stand. And I've talked to some people close to Anthony Averett who have told me that the hope is that he can go. That doesn't mean that he's going to be guaranteed ready to play. So as it stands right now, you got your Raiders cornerback room that has Nate Hobbs with a cast, Amik Robertson, Rocky Sin has dealt with plenty of injuries already this season. Anthony Averett's still on IR. The Raiders definitely need some extra players. There's no doubt about it in that secondary. And maybe they decide to call up somebody like Nicole Roby-Coleman, which I've been kind of waiting on them to do that anyway. Maybe they decide to add some extra talent. It's a wait-and-see process. All I know is this. The Raiders want to have Anthony Averett back Week 7. Averett wants to play Week 7, I'm sure, but until he gets cleared, it's still up in the air. Now, before I leave you all today, remember it is Thursday. Jeremy Chuggs and I, we're going to be live for Thursday Night Football. It's going to be kind of a weird game, Bears-Commanders, but you know what? I know I'm going to be watching the game anyway, and I want to be able to hang out with y'all. So hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. Before I leave you guys today, I wanted to give a little bit more of just Raiders news, if you will. It has not been confirmed yet, but Maxx Crosby posted 2 hours ago on his Instagram and 2 hours ago on his Twitter that he is getting him and his engaged, I guess, fiance, I was going to say what the word was, fiance, Rachel, they're expecting a baby very soon. So Max on Twitter said T-minus 2 hours, 2 hours ago. It has not been confirmed yet whether the baby is out yet as I'm recording this video, but I want you guys to do this. If you made it this far in the video, I want you to spam 98. I want you to spam baby Crosby, baby Condor, but also make sure that you check on Max on his Instagram account, on his Twitter account, and just say congratulations, because to me, man, I can't imagine that there is much better feeling in the world than bringing in a new son, a new daughter, bringing in new life. So if you could, show Max and his fiance some love by just type in 98, type in baby Crosby, and then also hit him up on social media. If anything else happens around the silver and black, I'll do my part to keep you guys up to date. If not, though, I'll see you live here in a little bit for some Thursday night football action.